Just want to start off by saying I am quite sick and I realized there's so much work to do on the house. So I was just thinking, let me just read some Reddit stories. I did find some quite juicy ones. The first one is crazy. My 35 male friend, 36 male, loyalty tested my wife, 40 female, without my knowledge. She failed. I feel done with them both. What to do? Yeah, I told you it's crazy. Been with my wife 10 years, married for 6. I thought we were really happy. She's got a kid from a previous relationship, that not in the picture. I have taken on the role. We both work, me full-time, her part-time. We live a good life, holiday abroad every few months. No real financial worries, both in pretty good shape and plenty of love, affection and sex between us. I thought we'd be together forever. Now on to my friend. His wife left him in horrific circumstances last year. He came home one day to find her gone with their 2-year-old. She's left him to a drug dealer she met on Instagram who ended up assaulting them both, and it's a massive legal issue that's destroyed him. Since then, he's become very anti-women despite having a great family full of women. He's constantly telling us how all women are the same, etc. Well, last week he sent me a lot of screenshots. Must have been over 100 of them, going back to November last year and finishing on January 15. He got another phone and started messaging my wife pretending to be a man from a couple of hours away who got the wrong number. Within a week, he was getting nudes from her, sexting. By Christmas, she was telling him she loves him, and the final one was a photo of her walking into a hotel to meet him, and then angry messages from her asking where he was. I went round to his house and was distraught. He told me he's done this to another six friends of ours. Only my wife failed. Mad. He had the phone with him, and as I was there, she messaged him asking where he'd gone and saying how much she misses him. He showed me that she's been sending stuff like that the past week with no response. I left there without really saying anything and went home, and once me and my wife were alone, I confronted her with the evidence I have. She started crying and saying she doesn't know why she did it, and it just started off as a bit of fun at work, and then she got carried away. She says she feels like she loves us both and doesn't want to lose me. How can you love someone after? Anyways, I didn't know what to do, so just left and went to a hotel. I'm still here now and unsure of what my next step should be. I want to cut them both off, but I still will miss my stepdaughter so much, and my friends are saying I can't be mad at my friend as he did me a favor. Fucking stupid friend though. There is a huge update though. A lot of people said my wife did nothing wrong. She went to a hotel to meet another man for sex. She messaged saying she was there and I purposely haven't had sex with him, meaning me, for ages, so when I get my hands on you, I'll be ripping your clothes off and my own. Come on. The messages of her asking where he is, and even a week later when he stopped replying saying she misses him, and pictures of herself saying how much she still wants him. How can you say she did nothing wrong? A few people said my friend wasn't catfishing her and he was just sending photos of himself and she knew. My friend is white and dumpy. The pictures were of a black adult film star stolen from his Twitter. Now on to the update. First and most importantly, I met my stepdaughter yesterday. We met at the park and we saw each other and we both started crying and just hugged for 5 minutes. Every memory of her from when I first met her went through my head and I didn't want her to let go for fear of never hugging her again. We sat on a park bench and the first thing she asked is what happened. She's 15 and I didn't see a reason to lie. I said her mom got catfished and she fell for it and has been having an affair for a few months and told another man she loved him. I left out the nudes and hotel bit, thank fuck. My stepdaughter said her mom had told her that all she had done was message an old friend and I got jealous, but she said she knew I wasn't like that and her aunt, wife's sister, had told her that her mom had cheated and I had done nothing wrong. Good. I told her I have 100 screenshots, but I won't show them her. She begged to see one so she could know. I tried to find a non-sexual one and showed her one where her mom said, I love you more after 10 weeks than I do him after 10 years. My stepdaughter was horrified as I was and just said, oh my god. After that, we sat and talked for a couple of hours about everything. She said she still wants me to be a part of her life and when I get my own place, she'll be over all the time. She said I'm still her dad and always will be even after I told her I plan to divorce her mom. She said her auntie and her grandma both encouraged her to stay in touch with me because she told them she was scared I didn't want her anymore. I said nothing could be further from the truth. I gave her a lift back home and we've been texting non-stop since, sending stupid videos to each other, and she said her grandma said we can use her kitchen to bake together again, so we're doing that later on today. As for my wife and my friend, I've told my wife I want a divorce, which caused the barrage of texts and phone calls I ignored. I've told my friend I want low contact with him, but I did ask why he didn't stop once he got nudes, and he said because you don't get jealous, and I thought you'd probably just find it funny. which is probably true. If she told me a wrong number was texting, I would probably say flirt with it for a laugh. I do get people's point when they say I shouldn't be mad at him because if it wasn't for him, it would have been someone else. But he did target her insecurities. He knew she was insecure about her height and said, first time I finally meet an Amazonian woman at a bar, we have had a good time, she gives me a false number. And he knows she struggles with having an athletic build, and he mentioned his ideal woman would be tall, strong build. He doesn't get the trend for short women with big boobs and bums. But at the same time, she's a fucking detective for the police force and should have recognized she was being played. This is just such a stupid situation. I think it's both the wife and the friend's fault. The friend is just a dick, in my opinion. He's just jealous that he's alone and just wants everyone to suffer with him. So I don't think he's a good friend. But the wife is horrible. And she couldn't have done something worse, especially for her daughter as well. What is wrong with you? Why would you do this for just an affair? It's just crazy to me. If you don't like your partner anymore, just break up. Don't do all of this, please. Now I just gotta make the pond look cute. My husband's open marriage suggestion backfired on him. Thank fuck he did. My husband, Leo, 34 male, and I, 30 female, have been together for 7 years, married for 4 of them. We don't have any kids, and we don't intend to. 2 years ago, Leo asked me for an open marriage. I was devastated at the time. I couldn't understand why he didn't just want me. I couldn't even comprehend the idea of sharing him either. He gave me the same song and dance a lot of men give their spouses. Swore up and down that he loved me. I just wasn't fulfilling his needs. He needed more than what I could give. It was just to spice up our life. It was just sex, etc., etc. I did ask if there was someone else. He said no. To this day, I'm still not sure if I believed him. But at the time, I was angry and hurt and said no. He pestered me to change my mind for a week before giving me an ultimatum. Open marriage or divorce. How fucking crazy is that ultimatum? I chose the open marriage. I just couldn't bear the thought of him leaving me at the time, which is just mad. We have rules. We can't bring any partners home. We have to get tested for STD every 3 months. 1 weekend out of the month must be left for free for us time. Any money we spend on or with our partners must come from our own personal account. I didn't partake in the open marriage myself for the first 3 months. Leo obviously did right away. He seemed to be gone or out late almost all the time, but he always acted so happy and loving towards me while I felt like I was dying inside. It killed me to think he was sleeping with other women, and I felt so lonely and unattractive and not good enough. I told my sister, Katie, 26 female, and a few close friends everything. Katie told me to just play his game and be part of the open marriage too. If he can sleep around, so could I. Yeah, sure you can. I honestly didn't have much confidence in myself at the time. I'm a bit overweight and I've never considered myself conventionally pretty. I was afraid this would just humiliate me further. Katie and my best friend Jessie, 30 female, set up my online dating profile for me. I got so many matches that it was overwhelming. When I told Leo, he was surprised, but he told me to do whatever I thought was best. Jessie helped me choose my first date and I actually had a great time. He didn't pressure me for sex and took me out for drinks and dinner. We did have sex eventually, but it was all just casual and we didn't see each other for a couple of months of casual dating. That first guy really made me feel more confident in myself, so I kept going on dates with men. A lot of them wanted to treat me, so I didn't have to spend much of my own money. Not only that, but some of the men have given me the best sex I've ever had in my life. Almost like the kind of sex you read in romance novels. It's been amazing. I'm currently seeing 2 different men alongside Leo. One, Mark, 38 male, is more of a steady boyfriend I've been with for about 6 months, and the one, Steven, 25 male, is very casual, mostly just hanging out and sex. They know about my open marriage and other relationships and are fine with it. My husband has not been so lucky. Good. In the beginning, he definitely was. He was always out and about and didn't seem to care even when I started dating too. But now he just complains a lot and hasn't been out much. He whines about how he's usually the one spending money. A lot of women he tries to be with want an emotional connection before sex. He often wants to be with younger women, but they want younger men. Duh. He's always been upset that I go out with random guys so often while he's at home alone all the time. I mean, it's what he deserves. He hasn't asked to close the marriage yet, but I feel like he will soon. He keeps saying he misses us and wants to spend more time together. I try to initiate sex a lot more too. He wants to go on dates and go on vacations and all that stuff more and more. And he gets upset when I tell him I can't because I've already scheduled to do stuff with my partners, mostly Mark. Honestly, I don't think I love Leo anymore. I care about him, but I just don't love him. I'm not saying I love Mark or Steven, but I honestly feel closer to Mark nowadays than I do Leo. Mark makes me feel comfortable and safe, and I love spending time with him more than my own husband. Steven is funny and sweet and really good at sex. Katie and Jesse have been wanting me to divorce for a year now, but I was afraid of hurting him, and I thought I still loved him. But I think my love for him died when he asked for this open marriage in the first place. Seeing him get all this pissy about it now just because he's not benefiting from it is also a turn off for me too. But I don't know if divorce is the best option. I still care about him and I don't want to hurt him. Maybe if he finally asks to close the marriage, we could talk about it then. This is mad, isn't it? Okay, there's a lot of updates, so I'm gonna go through all of them. The first one is 1 week later. But the thing is, I think a part of me still loves my husband. I know in my last post, I said that I didn't think I loved him anymore, but I just can't forget about the things that I do love. I love when he sings in the shower. I love when he laughs so hard he snorts. I love when he kisses my forehead when I've had a bad day. I love when he holds my hand when we watch TV together. Leo has done a lot of shitty things, but he really isn't the big asshole people think. Maybe that was my fault. I mean, all these things just sound like the bare minimum to me, but anyways. But even if I do still love him, I'm not in love with him anymore. I don't think I've been for a while. I care about him. Part of me does still love him, but you all were right. I should have just divorced him when he gave me that ultimatum in the first place. This past Saturday, we had the big talk. I initiated it, but he didn't seem too surprised. I just told him that I noticed he didn't seem to like me going out with Mark or Steven, and asked if there was a problem. He said there was. But he didn't ask me to close the marriage. He just asked me if I still loved him. I said something like, not like I used to. He broke down crying, which made me cry. I guess he had known for a while that I wasn't in love with him anymore, but he had hoped he could win me back if he funneled all of his energy into me. I was honest and told him that during those first 3 months of our open marriage, I think my love for him died, and I just couldn't get it back. I did tell him that I still cared about him and that I did love him, but it's not the same as it was. He asked if I love Mark or Steven, and I said no. I like being with them and I care about them a lot, but I can't say I'm in love with either of them. Also finally asked him why he wanted the open marriage in the first place. A lot of you in the comments said he already had someone lined up, and you were right. Ooh. He had someone at work he was interested in, and she wanted him too. The open marriage was just to get permission. He honestly never expected me to also get my own partners because of how unconfident I was. But he didn't want to stop me either because he thought nothing would come out of it. Fucking asshole. He didn't really like seeing me with other men, but he knew it wouldn't have been fair to tell me no when I gave him permission first. I guess Mark and Steven made him feel insecure because I was spending so much time with them on a regular basis. The open marriage was just sex on the side for him. He only did hookups, and they never lasted long. He genuinely always just loved only me, but he thought I was falling in love with my partners and he was losing me and wanted to win me back. We cried a lot and talked a lot. We've decided to get a divorce. Since the house is in his name, I'm going to move out and live with Katie for a while. He told me I didn't have to and I could stay until the divorce was finalized, but I just can't. It's too hard to even look at him sometimes. I don't know how I feel, to be honest. I thought I would be relieved or sad, but I'm just tired. I wish I could have been like you all wanted me to be, clapping back and being sarcastic and snarky or rubbing it in his face. But I don't feel like I've won anything. I just feel lost. That's quite sad. She's lost so much because of this asshole. Now, the next update is of 2 months later after the previous update. Hey, it's been a while. It feels like both a lot and nothing has happened. I still have a lot of feelings, but I'm also just really tired. Leo and I are still in the middle of our divorce. It's been as amicable as a divorce can be. Since we mutually agreed to it and we had a prenup, it's been pretty easy splitting everything else 50-50. My lawyer says I should be divorced by the end of the year. Leo is insistent on giving me alimony, but I'm not really interested. Thanks to a lot of people making me think about Leo's explanation about the open marriage, I did approach him about it and asked him to be 100% honest with me about the girl from work. He admitted there was more to it than he admitted. This is what he explained to me, and I have decided to believe him. Even if he's lying, it doesn't really matter anymore since we're getting divorced. I also just have little energy to care about the details at this point. According to him, this is the timeline. He was posting on Reddit about his kinks for advice and such, which I didn't know about beforehand. He was getting messages from this one user. They just kept talking back and forth. He mentions my name to the user in a conversation, which he let me read. During his lunch break, his coworker, I'll call her Mary, approaches him and asks if he uses Reddit and asks about his handle. He confirms, and then Mary tells her she's the user he's been talking to. They start talking more and more in real life as friends and eventually start talking through Instagram. He also showed me these conversations. The conversations were mostly just memes and jokes with occasional flirts and mentioning of his kinks. At one point she says it's too bad he's not single. This is when he decides to demand the open marriage, because Mary was clearly into him and into the same kings, and she could sexually satisfy him since I was unable to. That's how he basically said it anyway. Truth be told, we did have some bad difficulties before the open marriage was brought up. I'm very vanilla, and he discovered his kinks after we were married. I tried them all for him, but I just couldn't get into it, and he didn't like seeing me struggle, so he didn't try to bring them into the bedroom again after it was obvious I didn't like it. So we did have sexual compatibility issues. Maybe we were doomed to fail even without the open marriage ultimatum. Our families, outside of my sister, were shocked when we told everyone we were getting a divorce. They always thought we were so happy and in love. My mom blames me, which I expected, but it still hurts. Oh, how is it her fault? They don't know about the open marriage, and Leo and I plan to keep it that way. I think he's ashamed to tell them. I am too, if I'm being honest. I really thought Leo was the love of my life. He was my first for almost everything. I said we were together for 7 years, but we were friends since college. I've known him for nearly 12 years. We're about to become strangers soon. It's quite sad. I still mourn my marriage, even though Katie and Jesse keep telling me this is for the best. They're both definitely thrilled. They don't hide it, but they also know this has been weird for me. I just don't know how to feel. I thought I would feel free or relieved or heartbroken or something, but I just feel weird. Like I lost a part of myself and I don't know how to get it back. I'm still living with Katie, but I'll be moving out soon. I found a 1-bedroom apartment that's near Jesse, so I won't be completely alone. Mark offered to let me move in with him, but I declined. Honestly, we're kind of a standby. He knows I'm having a hard time processing my feelings about my husband and the end of my marriage. I really do like Mark and I don't want to lose him, but I feel like I need to figure myself out first. As for Steven, we ended our relationship at the beginning of August. He got a job offer in another state and took it. Even though it was casual, I did cry a little. Steven is a great guy. Whenever he decides to settle down into something serious, the woman who gets him would be a lucky one. We've been texting here and there, but it's mostly just sending each other TikToks and polite, "I hope you're doing well" messages. Some people asked me if I wanted to go back to monogamy. Even after experimenting and clearly getting into this poly relationship I had going on. And the answer is yes, I do. Even though Mark and Steven were great, and I met plenty of great guys during my open marriage, I don't know if I've really been happy with myself or my choices. I also think I felt guilty a lot too, like I was somehow cheating on Leo, Mark and Steven, even though it was all consensual. Polyamory and open relationships may work for some people, but it's really just not for me. Jesse says I need to get a therapist. I have tried looking, but finding a therapist that's both available and seems like a good fit is a pain. Hopefully I can find one by the time the divorce is settled. I also want to figure out what to do about Mark on my own. I don't want to lead him on and give him false hope. Maybe we should take a break, or maybe I should tell him to just break up with me. He should find his own happiness without worrying about me. It's a crazy story. Honestly, I do think he's a bad person. The fact that he gave his wife an ultimatum and didn't want to just have a normal conversation and speak about a compromise of some sort. But at the end of the day, they're just not made for each other. They don't want to compromise. They don't want to... I mean, it's mostly him, in my opinion. He has been a horrible person. I do think he's a bad person. But I'm just glad everything ended up well for her. And for him, he can just learn to be a better person.
I want to make sure this whole patio connects together.
So the next story, if I was living through it, I'd be livid. Anyways, it says my boyfriend, 28 male, has been collecting my 24 female rent for a free house. I've been living with my boyfriend for a year. I'm a graduate student, so I have a very minimal income, and I'm very upset about this, but my boyfriend says he was trying to do something nice. My boyfriend and I moved in together to a house that he found. He arranged all the landlord stuff and told me to send $1,000 a month to the landlord's bank account. This is a very normal rent for our area, but I could have probably spent less if I had lived in an apartment. I have been doing so for the last year, only to find out yesterday from his mom that his parents actually own the house and they aren't charging us rent. Madness. It pisses me off so much already. Upon hearing this, I asked my boyfriend about the $13,000 that he has asked me to send to some account. And he told me that he was doing it for me as a gift to give back later so I could see how much I've saved. How crazy does that sound? He's obviously lying. Let's be honest, he is fucking lying. Are you joking? It's just because he got caught. Anyways, she continues to say, I'm livid, I'm not irresponsible with money, I have no debt, and I even have some savings. Over the last year, there have been things I've had to miss out on because they just weren't financially feasible without this money. There have been some times where I couldn't get my tires replaced or couldn't get a new blazer to replace my threadbare one, so my boyfriend got to swoop in and save the day. It always made me feel so bad that he could just live fine on his salary, not that much higher than mine, but I couldn't live well on mine. Now I know it's because he was spending $1,000 less than I was every month. I don't know what to do. I feel upset and uncomfortable about the whole situation. My boyfriend won't listen to me. He keeps saying that this was supposed to be a surprise gift and I'm taking it the wrong way. I don't know what to think. Am I overreacting? Obviously not. She's not overreacting at all. He's obviously lying just because he got caught. He just wanted to have the money for himself. There's the small update 2 weeks later. I told my ex-boyfriend, I'm already happy, says ex. I told my ex-boyfriend I was moving out with or without the money, and he told me that if I left him, he could keep the gift for himself. I told him whatever and called his mother and told her I was leaving. She asked why and I told her the whole story. She asked me to give her a few minutes and then she would get back. I heard her call my ex in the other room and could hear her yelling at him through the phone. She called me back and told me to take pictures of the rooms. I sent them to her and she gave me the all clear over text. She also sent me an apology for my ex's behavior. I left and thought that was that. A few days later, I get a check in the mail for $15,000 from my ex's mom. Not exactly justice because the original money was indeed probably gone, but I walked away feeling pretty good about the whole thing. I mean, no stupid boyfriend and $15,000 in your account. I think that's a win. I don't think that could have gone better, but it's just absolutely crazy to me that he would do that. Even if he did actually just mean to do a nice thing for her, just the fact that he's keeping that to himself is just crazy. Like what do you mean keeping it for a nice gift? Like you're not her dad, buddy. Let her make the choice for herself. Are you joking? It just pissed me off, but I'm just glad she's single now and a bit richer.
Now I want to start working on the staircase because it leads to like this massive cave underneath, and we're gonna have to explore that later.
Me, 29 female, with my husband, 32 male, I discovered he hired an escort while I was in the hospital. Me and my husband have been married for 2 years. We were together for 2 years before that. For the most part, it seemed like everything has been great. We both work a lot, but we made our relationship work. Over the summer, I was admitted to the hospital for surgery on my colon. Because of complications after my surgery, I was stuck in the hospital for over a month. Once I got home, it took me some time to recover and get back to how I was physically before my surgery. During this time, we didn't really have much sex. Well, yeah, how can you? I was in too much pain and couldn't do too much physically, though I did try and satisfy him orally, which is already a lot. While you're in so much pain, I think, I'm sorry, but that would be the last thing I'd think about. This was tough on both of us because we were both used to frequent sex. He did express his frustration more than once, but I thought we'd done a good job communicating and working through it. We're back to our normal routine now, and I honestly thought the hospital bills were going to be more stress on both of us than this. Well, Saturday night, my husband went out with one of our friends, Greg. Greg's wife, another one of our friends, just had a baby around Thanksgiving and was stuck in the hospital because the baby was born too early and needed to be in an incubator. Greg had been really stressed lately, and so my husband took him out for a drink just to get out and distress. Greg called me yesterday. Apparently, they got really drunk and started talking about how Greg wouldn't be having sex for a while. And my husband said that he could always hire an escort and that my husband did that when I was in the hospital. Greg just went along with it at the time but thought he should tell me. Good friend. I didn't really trust Greg at first and thought he might have misheard or was lying. But why would he even lie about that anyway? I went through all of our old credit card statements and financials and found a large cash withdrawal around the time I was in the hospital. I still didn't mean much, so I asked my husband about it and lied and said I was getting stuff together to talk to a financial advisor. He said that he had to pay for a car repair in cash because our card wasn't working, but it was working fine everywhere else. I just don't know if I believe that, especially because we always use the same place for our car repairs and we've always used the same card for it. I could contact them, but I have no idea if they'd remember. This is all just so confusing. I can't believe he cheated on me like that. We were planning on trying for a baby soon, but I don't want to bring a pregnancy into this if he's cheating on me. I just don't know what to do from here. It's just horrible. There's an update though from 5 days later. For those of you talking about bro code, it wouldn't apply here. Greg and Emily were my friends before I even met my husband. I knew both of them in college. I was actually a bridesmaid at their wedding and the godmother of their newest baby. Bro code, When you do something so horrible, doesn't matter if you're their friend or not, you should tell the other person. I was actually a bridesmaid at their wedding and the godmother of their newest baby. And the reason I didn't go out for drinks with them was because I was watching the two other children. So it would be like breaking bro code if Greg didn't tell me, kind of. On to the update. I stopped by the car repair place we always go to, and the other one he said he used when I was in the hospital. They had no record of working on our car at the time. Not even a tire change or oil change or axle adjustment or anything. So my husband was definitely lying about it because they said at that price they would always have some sort of record. I went to confront him the other night. Long story short, he didn't even deny any of it. He wasn't sorry about it either. He fessed up to hiring the escort and to having sex with them. He said he wasn't cheating because it was a service, not like he fell in love with another woman. It was just sex to him. I also asked him about STIs and he said he didn't even think about that. So if I go to get tested because of my husband's stupidity and cheating. I should say my future ex-husband though, good. I cannot trust him, and the fact that he didn't think he did anything wrong disgusts me. Once he knew that I knew, he wasn't even defensive anymore. He wasn't sad or angry. He just seemed like he didn't even care. Like he was apathetic about our whole marriage. Everything I thought I knew about him was wrong, and I'm trying to figure out how he tricked me so well. I called a divorce lawyer and I'm currently staying in a guest room because I don't even want to look at him. I'm going to see a lawyer next Wednesday and figure out where to go from here. Like, this just makes me so sad. I don't understand how that's just the first thing that they would think about. Even if you think about it when your partner is in so much pain and is just feeling absolutely horrible, even if you are selfish enough to think about your needs, at least speak with your partner about it and be like, by the way, I'm thinking of this and this and this. Don't just go behind their back and do this. It's just absolutely disgusting to think about sex when your partner is going through so much. But to me, it's just crazy. It's 100% cheating, and I can't believe that people actually think, oh, it's fine, it's just a service. This story is a little bit weird. It's quite funny though, so I'll read it just so you guys know what I'm talking about. My girlfriend set me up to cheat on her, and now she thinks I would actually cheat on her. I, male 25, and my girlfriend, female 25, have been in a relationship for 4 years. Before that, we were friends for more than 2 years, so I have known her for at least 6 years. We get along great and don't have many arguments or fights. Last Sunday, my girlfriend's friend Susan asked me to come to her place and told me that my girlfriend was there and we could all just hang out. We were at the local deli and Susan's apartment is just a block away, so I went with her. Got there and saw my girlfriend and her friends calling me a cheater. She was crying. Honestly, at that point, I didn't know what was going on. It was all very confusing. My girlfriend's other friend was saying, break up with him, he's a cheat. After the things calmed down a little, I told her that Susan told me that she would be here, so I don't understand what was going on. Apparently, Susan blew their plan and she wasn't supposed to tell me that my girlfriend would be there. I don't know why my girlfriend thinks she has the right to be mad at me. It should be me who is mad at her. She tried to set me up and failed. Her narrative now is that I shouldn't have gone home with another woman, and what if Susan was lying? Susan is her best friend and she told me that my girlfriend was there. I had no reason to suspect she was lying. Right now she thinks I would actually cheat on her if I got a good opportunity. Basically, she thinks I would go to some random ass woman's house that I meet. How fucking realistic. I don't think she realizes how stupid that sounds. I love her and don't want to dump her over this, but it is very stupid to set someone up to do something bad. I think I can get past her stupid test, but what is pissing me off is that she isn't talking to me and just says that she now knows that I have the potential to cheat. With every passing day, I'm honestly getting tired of her crap. What do you guys think? It's so weird. It's just funny, to be honest. Her crying and everything. The fact that you wanted to do this test, that means you didn't trust him in the first place, or you're really, really insecure. So why are you crying if you think that there's a possibility he would cheat on you? Regardless of that, why the fuck would that be cheating? To meet up with your the best friend of your girlfriend, nothing happened? Are you joking? And then he thought the girlfriend was gonna be there, so it's all Susan's fault, in my opinion. Anyways, there's a small little update. Thank you to everyone who replied to my first post. Just a little update. It was really difficult, but I broke up with her. Oof. The way she handled the situation at first gave me the impression that I was signing up for a lot more tests if I stayed with her, so I ended things. Only after she apologized and promised to never do anything like this again and said that this is something very minor which shouldn't cause a breakup. Part of me wanted to trust her and give it a go, but I don't want to be in a relationship where I'm not certain about it. Fair. As for Susan, after this I have run into her at the deli daily and she confessed that she was not on board with her girlfriend's plan. Thus, she partly messed up the plan without betraying her friends. I guess something is better than nothing and I thanked her for it. It still weirds me out a little that I can't go to my ex-girlfriend at the time, best friend's home, when invited, whom I had always known for a significant amount of time without being called a cheater. Personally, I don't know what was going through my ex's head. Susan told me that even though she was not on board with the plan, she was the one who brought up the YouTube video about testing partners to the group, and the rest of the girlfriends decided it would be a good idea to test it on me, as my ex was the only one in a relationship with me at the time. Like, that's so stupid, just because she was the only one in a relationship. Like, why would you try and fuck up someone's relationship just for a stupid test? According to her, it got out of hand from there and she was tasked with baiting me at the deli. Jeez Louise, guys, I don't know if this was the right decision or not, but I guess I'll find out in a couple of years down the road. I mean, to be completely honest, I think it's the right decision. It just seems like a really, really weird test. If you're testing your partner, that means you're not sure about them or you're not sure in yourself. So you either need therapy or to find someone else. But I don't think staying together. Anyways, if they really, really cared about each other and they wanted to make it work, it could have worked. If there was compromise from both sides, a lot of talking, a lot of communication. I mean, they were together for 4 years. So I don't know. It does seem like a small thing, but she's crazy. Sorry, she's crazy. My female 30 husband, male 33, has been cheating on me with my best friend, female 31, and asked me tonight if I want to be in a throuple. Let me start out by saying fuck 2020. My husband lost his job in April and has been home while I have been working extra shifts, making $12 an hour to keep us from going broke. Yes, I've been out of the house more than at home. Yes, I haven't been super active in bed because I'm really exhausted all the time from working 70 hours a week, standing on my feet all 70 hours. I thought he'd appreciate that I'm working so we have things like food and a place to live. Instead, he and my best friend have been fucking while I've been at work. She lost her job too. They've always gotten along with each other and I've never felt jealous or threatened that they have hung out together, just the two of them over the years. One very drunk night in 2009, she and I did make out, but it was a one-time thing and I didn't like it. I thought I could trust them and that they were just friends. Obviously, I'm an idiot. Enough backstory. I came home tonight and I found them snuggling on the couch watching TV, like in a spooning position, but it was very obvious it was intimate. They didn't panic, but she sat up. Then he sat up. At this point, I felt my stomach turn into a rock and I felt dizzy. No word of a lie, my body went into some kind of shock. I just walked to the bathroom and closed the door and sat on the toilet. I just started crying after. I have no idea how long. I threw up. I heard them whisper talking, but I couldn't make out what they were saying. But then they knocked on the bathroom door and asked if I was okay. And I told them, obviously fucking not. Wait, what do you expect? Are you okay? Are you joking? Obviously. They didn't backpedal or deny anything. They didn't admit to fucking then. But my best friend said we should all probably talk about what's going on. Talk about what's going on. Girl, shut up. I stayed in the bathroom. We talked through the door. That's when my husband said, okay, yes, we didn't want you to find out like this, but we have been in a relationship since July. We didn't want you to find out like this. There's no place where you can find out that your partner's cheating on you in a nice way. It's just impossible to find out nicely. He said some more things, but I honestly can't remember them because my ears were kind of ringing. And I kept thinking about him saying relationship. Wow, this wasn't a fling or a one-night stand. I could maybe forgive that. Could you? But a real relationship is a marriage supposed to mean him and I are in a relationship. So he says, whatever. And then my best friend says, so what do you think? I missed everything he said, obviously. So I told her and she said, so you missed the part about all three of us living together? After me asking what, my husband clarified that she would stay on the couch, but they'd keep each other company during the day. And I could be with her too, if I wanted. She knows I don't want this because we would have made out more than that one time in 2009, right? I know she needs to move out of her place because no job, no rent payment. I had told her in the past she could always crash at my place, but I never meant like this. How could she not know that? Is my best friend an idiot? Am I an idiot? I need advice. Yes, tell me I'm the idiot for trusting them and having bad judgment and not doing my wifely duties. I own all those things. I just need help figuring out my next steps. I don't want to be in a throuple and I don't even want to look at either of them. It's 3:30 a.m. and I can't sleep. I don't know what to do. I feel like I've been used. I don't know if I leave, I'd still have the place for my husband's expenses because he's not working, which would mean I'm paying for them to have a relationship, which idiot me has been doing since July, and I really hate my life right now. It's just so sad, to be honest. There is an update from 1 month later. So the update just shows in a bunch of questions. I'll just read some of the questions to understand the update. Are you getting a divorce? Yes. Okay, good. I did not sign up to be married to more than one person. I don't want that for myself. People in the poly lifestyle very kindly messaged me and told me that what my husband and best friend did was not how it's done in the poly community. Poly is done out of love and trust and communication. None of those three things happen here. So yes, to divorce. Do you talk to your best friend anymore? And she said, no way. Not since that night and not ever. I blocked her and refused to talk to her. She showed up at my place and I ignored her apology. Have no time for her bullshit or backstabbing. She lost our friend group too. Once they found out, I got so many stories from them and her backstabbing them over the years. This was all news to me because let's just say we each had stories that show her to be untrustworthy. I still think about her and wish things could be different, but she broke my trust in a way that can never be fixed. Yeah, she did. She and my husband still talk and are in a relationship. They have each other just like they wanted, yeah? My 36 male wife, 34 female, fell deep into conspiracy theories and online hate groups. Is there any saving our marriage? I know it sounds dramatic, but just stick with me. Stay with me. I, 36 male, have been married to my wife, 34 female, for 6 years. We have a 4-year-old daughter and I really don't want to divorce, but I'm starting to feel like I've run out of options. When we first met, my wife was a kind, brilliant and outgoing person. Over the past few years, she's changed in ways that really scare me. She's become very involved in online conspiracy spaces and online hate groups and now spends hours every day scrolling and arguing online. It's like she's living in a different reality. She hasn't held a stable job in about 3 years. She'll take on part-time work but ends up quitting or getting fired after a few months. Meanwhile, I've become the sole provider and have also taken on most of the parenting. My daughter loves her mom, but my wife often seems distracted or disengaged, and it breaks my heart to see that. Another issue is she has become more racist over time. It started as an obsessive dislike of a certain celebrity, but it's turned into outright racism comments, particularly towards women of color. She's lost several friendships because of it, and even her family has started to distance themselves. They still check in on me and our daughter, but they've made it clear they don't know how to reach her anymore. I've begged her to try therapy. She actually did for a few months once, and for a little while I saw glimpses of the person she used to be. But she quit, and everything went back to the way it was. I'm emotionally exhausted and worried about the environment our daughter is growing up in. I don't want her picking up these beliefs or thinking this level of disconnection is normal. That said, I'm also terrified of what divorce might do to her. I always believed in trying everything before walking away, and I don't want to feel like I gave up too soon. That's why I'm thinking about asking my wife to go to couples therapy. Maybe she'd be more open to it since it won't be just her. My question is, how do I even bring this up? Would it be wrong to tell her that I'm considering divorce if she refuses? I don't want it to sound like a threat. I just want her to understand how serious things have gotten. I love her. I want to believe there's still a way forward, but I can't keep doing this by myself. What makes it more interesting is the update. The update is from 4 months later from the original post. Some of you have helped me accept a reality I had been avoiding for a long time. My soon-to-be ex-wife was not going to get better, and I had to actually protect my daughter. I took the advice of some commenters and started documenting my ex's neglect of our daughter, her racism and extreme beliefs, and reached out to a divorce lawyer. I checked on our joint bank accounts as advice and discovered that she had been withdrawing large sums of money from a joint account we opened early in our marriage for family vacations, etc., that we had discussed using to eventually set up a college fund for our daughter when she was born. When I confronted her, she initially denied taking the money. When I demanded she show me where the money went, she went on a long rant about creating a better world. She admitted she had donated money to organizations like TPUSA, claiming they would create better schools and keep kids safe. She had also spent a significant amount of designer handbags, shoes, and clothing that she had hidden from me. The craziest thing, she was also being scammed by... She was being scammed by someone she met through some royal gossip subreddit, who claimed to have hired a private investigator to expose Meghan Markle. Poor Meghan Markle, man. What? Apparently, this person would send her negative articles about Meghan Markle and claim that the private investigator had discovered this information and sent it to the press, and my wife would send more money. She told me all of this as if it was completely reasonable and so nothing wrong with it. This is just crazy. I feel sorry for her. She obviously has mental issues, but still. I told her I was filing for a divorce, and at first she thought I was joking, but then she exploded at me and began throwing things while ranting about me breaking up the family. A glass cup she threw hit me in the head. I left the house bleeding and went to my neighbors and called the police. She had trashed the kitchen by the time the police showed up, and they arrested her after I explained what happened. I applied for and was granted a domestic violence restraining order, along with temporary custody of my daughter. My wife currently has supervised visitation only. She is facing a misdemeanor criminal charge related to the domestic battery incident, which is being handled in criminal court alongside the ongoing divorce proceedings. She is currently living with a former co-worker, and her family has reached out to express support for me and my daughter. I am in the middle of divorce proceedings, and my lawyer believes I have a strong case for sole custody. This isn't how I ever imagined things ending, but I'm grateful I listened to the advice here, and when I did. My priority now is my daughter's safety, stability, and emotional well-being. It's just sad. Like, she obviously has mental issues, and she just got too... It's just like, sometimes when you read too many things, you just start feeling so worried and anxious about the future and all the things. To be honest, you can find so much shit online, and if you start believing one thing, I feel like slowly you can believe a lot, and it just sounds like she's just going crazy with all this information that she honestly shouldn't even have access to. I think nothing really can be done anymore. Maybe if she takes therapy again and hopefully gets better mentally, maybe then there's a chance of her to be like before again. But it kind of sounds like she's just kind of gone a bit. I really hope everyone's feeling much better about themselves when they're listening to this, and I hope you're all enjoying it, because they definitely make me feel better about who I am as a person and just in general.
Fuck, I need to find more sand now.
This next story says, my girlfriend, 32 female, has been very sad since she found out her ex-boyfriend is getting married. So I, 30 male, have been dating my girlfriend for about 4 months now. Everything was going great for us till she learned that her ex-boyfriend of 9 years was getting married. The fact that it was 9 years already says a lot. They had broken up in June last year, and we started dating in July this year. We have tons in common, and we really enjoy each other's company. Anyways, last week, one of her old friends who knew her ex informed my girlfriend that he was getting married to his new girlfriend. My girlfriend was shocked, to say the least. And when her friend told her, she went on Facebook and spent almost an hour looking through his profile. Okay, he was a long-time boyfriend, so she must have been curious. I don't think that's what it was. But ever since that day, she has been really sad and stressed and keeps spending her time on Facebook looking through everything about her ex and his bride-to-be. I finally asked if he was the one who got away from her. She denied it. She said something along the lines of, I want to see what's so special about her. She said she isn't pining for him, he didn't treat her well, and that even if he asked her, she wouldn't go back. In fact, he had reached out to her multiple times after breaking up, but she turned him down every time. I don't know if I believe that. There's also an update from the next day. So I got a lot of advice on my last post. Thank you. Most of it was helpful, with a lot of commenters detailing their own personal and painful experiences with similar situations. After reading the comments and doing some thinking, I decided the best course of action is to talk to her. So I went to her favorite restaurant, got her favorite dish packed, and they went to her apartment. When she came out, I told her that, look, I can't say I understand what you're going through, because I don't. It's something personal to you, and as much as I would like to help you out or share some of your grief. Grief? Who died? I respect your choice and decisions, but as your boyfriend, I do have some rights here, and I'm invoking the right and asking you that you not be hungry and sad. That's so cringy. If you want to be sad, then please be sad on a full stomach filled with your favorite food. Nah. That's all I asked. Hearing this, she became emotional. Then she said, I haven't been the best girlfriend in the world for the past week, and I apologize for that. It's just been so hard for me to see someone with whom I've been 9 years of my life and who gave me a lot of excuses. Now he's just disregarding his own statements. Can you imagine anyone in a 9-year relationship where the couple doesn't live with each other, don't go on holidays together? They have absolutely no talk of getting engaged or married. Hell, he even got upset if I sent him a text while he was working. Well, me and my ex were like that. On top of that, he always used to say that marriage as an institution is archaic and he won't participate in it. Also, he looked down upon age gap relationships too. Now he's marrying someone 8 years younger than him and he's already living with her and gone on holidays together too. That's why I've been feeling so down. I don't want him back. I've already upgraded to a much higher level, but it's just the feeling of wasting 9 years of my life, which is the most painful. So I gave her a hug and told her that if she wanted a shoulder to cry on or a mouth to talk shit about her ex to, I can do both. So we both shared a laugh then. When I was leaving, she asked if she can stay with me for a few days, as she doesn't want to be alone. I said sure. So she came with me, and right now she's setting up her workstation in my other bedroom while I'm making this update. She will be staying with me the whole week. So thank you again, people. You have been immense help. I think he's being stupid. I don't know. My opinion. I feel like I understand her being a bit sad about it, but to let that show to your partner is just disrespectful to me. It just doesn't show respect to her current partner. If you're upset about it, just don't let it show, because obviously that's going to make him very insecure about the relationship. And at the end of the day, about the ex-boyfriend that's getting married, I think when you find the right person, all of the things that you hated in the past, you might start liking. You never know. But if it's the right person, you will want to get married. You will want to go on holidays. You will want all of these things. So if in 9 years, I mean, she should have realized way earlier. So at the end of the day, why did she stay so long? And I'm glad they're together now, but I just feel like she should really think about her actions, because I just don't think this is nice. My 23 female boyfriend, 23 male of 1 year is bad at everything, and it's making me lose respect for him. Okay, so I'm going crazy in my head here because I don't know if I'm just the world's hugest bitch or what. Basically, my boyfriend, let's call him Steve, is just not good at doing anything. He's good at outdoorsy stuff and is apparently pretty good at his job in catering. Aside from that, for example, I feel like I can't do anything with him that involves any skill or is even slightly competitive because 1, he's a sore loser. I hate sore losers. And 2, he never wins. When I stayed with his family over Christmas, they had a Scrabble board, and because it was snowy and boring, of course I tried to pass the time playing Scrabble with him. And I'm not even a good Scrabble player, and I still crushed him every game. And eventually, after a few, I just couldn't play anymore because I had to spend like 10 minutes after every game making him feel better about himself. That's such an ick. After giving up on Scrabble, we switched to playing Sorry. We had to stop that too because I couldn't handle the mental toll of continuously beating him at Sorry. Another time, we went to a board game night with some friends and he couldn't understand the rules for most of the board games. And afterwards, he vented to me about how stupid the games were and why there was no point having rules so complicated no one could grasp them. He was the only one who couldn't grasp them. Other times we play casual stuff like air hockey or foosball, which I don't think even requires any strategy other than spinning the little plastic dudes really fast, and he still lose every time and get upset about it. I don't care about winning, I just want to have fun, and it feels like it's impossible to have fun because playing anything with him feels like playing against a goddamn 5-year-old. But wait, this thread is entitled My Boyfriend is Terrible at Games, so here's some other stuff. His internet stopped working a while back, so he called me, and I told him to use his mobile data to download the troubleshooting manual for his router and see if he could fix it. He didn't manage to, so I went to his place and found he downloaded the manual for the wrong router. It wasn't even the right brand. I ended up fixing his problem, and then he ranted to me about how all these router manufacturers make the manual so hard to use, like there's some sort of deliberate conspiracy to keep everyone in perpetual confusion unless they're a genius. I'm not a genius, I'm just capable of following simple written instructions. Also, he wants to go to school to do a master's degree, but he needs to do some prereqs, including a math unit where he's struggling with a lot of the material. But as far as I can tell, it's all stuff he learned in high school. Lately, he's been posting Facebook updates about how hard it is to learn logarithms. My school covered logarithms in grade 9, and even though I can't remember how to do them off the top of my head, I don't recall them being particularly hard at the time. And aside from that, I'm getting tired of being expected to be sympathetic when increasingly I just want to yell, well, maybe if you weren't such a dumbass. But even if I hint that maybe he should be able to deal with his own emotions. For example, honey, I know you couldn't get the pizza dough the shape you wanted, but it's not a huge deal in the grand scheme of things, right? I get accused of being unsympathetic to his feelings. Well, what about my feelings that I don't want constant rolly coverage of every tiny thing that bothers you? But he's also an incredibly sweet, hardworking person who treats me well, and his boss and coworkers all say he doesn't just work hard, but he's actually really competent at his job, and he did pretty well in high school, and he's lived on his own since he was 16 and kept himself alive the whole time, and no one else has ever said or hinted to me, gee, your boyfriend is kind of a dumbass. So what the fuck? Is he me? Am I the crazy one? Am I a bitch? I mean, you see a lot of a person when you spend a lot of time with them. So I think she probably knows him the best. So that's why she sees all these tiny little things that irk her. But I think once you kind of stop loving someone, or you find one thing that you hate about them, I think everything else will just piss you off. Anyways, there is an update. It is quite funny as well. So the update is from 2 months later. I'll save you some scrolling. We broke up. Some more background. My ex graduated with a degree in biomedicine last year, but never actually looked for work in his field, as far as I know. This didn't strike me as a problem at first, since he's always taken care of himself just fine, and he never seemed that enthusiastic about his degree anyway. I spent several years after high school working odd jobs while I figure out what to do with my life, most of the way through nursing school now. So who am I to judge, right? But gradually, I just got more and more of a sinking feeling about things. Some more background. My ex graduated with a degree in biomedicine last year, but never actually looked for work in his field, as far as I know. This didn't strike me as a problem at first, since he's always taken care of himself just fine, and he never seemed that enthusiastic about his degree anyway. I spent several years after high school working odd jobs while I figure out what to do with my life, most of the way through nursing school now. So who am I to judge, right? But gradually, I just got more and more of a sinking feeling about things, mostly because he kept talking about how he wanted to get a PhD and become a professor, and I felt like professorship was a pretty optimistic goal for even the most brilliant of students. But how do you tell your boyfriend you think their dreams are wildly unrealistic? So he decided he was going back to his master's. Cool. After I posted the original thread, I realized I'd never really spoken to him about his negativity while we were both calm. So I sat him down one day and told him that while I was always going to be there for him in times of real distress, I couldn't take all his complaining anymore. About his coworkers, about my housemates, about his housemates, about losing at games, about the train system, about math, about art